We believed that running the Republican budget that passed in a bipartisan way was the best way to move the state forward. The governor did not, and the Democrats decided that they did not want to override that. So that put us in a position where we had one decision, and to me it was a very easy decision. Allow the governor to continue hurting cities and towns with his draconian cuts, or sit down and try and come to a compromise that we believe will structurally change the state of Connecticut moving forward and will give aid right away to cities and towns. I think that overall people were very impressed with the historic amount of structural change we got in this budget. I will say this, that in the past 50 years of Republicans pushing to get structural changes out there, I think we probably did more in this budget than we've done, well, the entire time I've been here, I can say that.
And what are those structural changes?
Well, spending cap, bonding cap, prevailing wage limit changes, mandatory votes on union contracts, municipal aid changes, municipal reform, whether it be MBR, whether it be boards of finance and boards of eds, working together to make decisions better. There's so many of them, and it's one of those things, we're in that room day in and day out, and we know clearly the things that we got, the things we gave, but to look at a list of them is really amazing. The one thing that we believe we didn't get that we thought was very important were the 2027 pension reforms. It was the policies and the money taken, and we have said time and time again that CBAC vote was a historic vote to the negative. It was one of the worst votes, I believe, I have seen in my career, no question about that. It has put the state of Connecticut on their heels. It has stopped us from making a lot of structural changes, consolidations, privatizations, things that could really save the state of Connecticut money going forward. But we're very proud of the things we did get in it, and that is something that we are going to continue to fight day and night. Listen, we value the teachers. You know, we all have, my uncle was a teacher, and, you know, I have the most admiration for what they do and how they mold all of our lives. We all have a great teacher story about somebody that's done something wonderful in our lives. But here's the reality. We had a $5 billion deficit. This legislature voted the worst bill in creation in CBAC and put everybody's back against the wall. We unfortunately had to make some difficult decisions, but I will say this. Right now, Connecticut teachers pay 6% into their pension contribution. National average is 10. National average is 8 if you actually get Social Security. We are still at 7, below either national average. And we also completely and fully supported teachers' exemption, the 25% exemption on their pension. So those are things that are helping teachers and helping them with their pension and helping them move forward in their contribution. So I understand people don't like it, but I think it's a very reasonable solution in this regard.
What about the energy raids? How do you feel about those? Obviously,
well, we're still, you know, I felt very strongly that I didn't want to go in that direction. But once again, when you guys kept asking, well, what do you agree on when we'd come out of here every day? Because there's a million different things, and the percentage of things we agreed on varied with every item. So the reason why it was so difficult at the end is because you always save the tough stuff for last. And when you get to the tough stuff and you're trying to balance a budget, you have to go in tough directions. And that was something that our caucus did not want to do, but they understood that we had tough decisions to make. I will say that we are still working on some movement in regards to what those sweeps look like. They're not final yet, but they will change before. And as you know, we have a mill rate cap now. We changed that in the first year, and we changed that in the second year because all the leaders uniformly felt that this is a serious situation and we have to take a long, hard look at the way we're taxing cars, and does it need to be changed and how it needs to be changed. We didn't have the time to make a huge life-moving change in regard to that, and that's what eliminating the car tax was. So we did it the way we did it now, but we are all committed by May 1st to coming up with a different formula and way of looking at car taxes. There are a lot of people that differentiate between cigarette taxes and other taxes. I will say this, that considering where we came from with the Democrats' budget that was put up yet not voted on in a roll call vote, with the option of sales tax increases, sales tax exemptions, cell phone taxes, income taxes on the table, capital gains tax, millionaires tax, all of these things that would cripple this state, I think we can live with the cigarette tax.
Do you have a